Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mudwalkers. My name is Chris. This episode of Mudwalkers comes to you thanks to my good friend Charlie over on Patreon. He's a Patreon supporter, and yeah, he's had a lot of good input over the last few years, and I'm very grateful to have him as part of the channel. So there's the explicit case, for and against naturism, and we evaluate different arguments directly about the issue of naturism on the channel a lot. But today we're taking a more thematic look at a few passages that are adjacently relevant to the issue, because it shows that there's a wider issue at play here in Scripture than just the issue of should we or shouldn't we when it comes to clothing. There's a bigger theme at play here, and we'll take a look at that. We'll take a look at three key passages, two of which come from Charlie, and Charlie, one I added on because I thought that it was similar. I hope you like it. But these are going to take us down a little brief path to show us how Yahweh, how God really thinks of moral blameworthiness when it comes to this issue. I think these are all going to be pretty familiar to people, especially this one. Matthew chapter 5, verses 27 and 28. You have heard it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you that everyone who looks at a woman with lustful intent has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Notice Yeshua doesn't lay the blame at the feet of the woman. He lays the blame squarely at the feet of the man. And he doesn't qualify his warning by saying, if you look at a woman with lustful intent, you've committed adultery with her in your heart. But, if she was wearing a low-cut tunic, then she bears some of the blame for that too, and she kind of had it coming, and you can't beat yourself up about that too much. He doesn't say that. He says, if you look at a woman with lustful intent, that's on you. And it is. And there is no passage that puts that kind of blame on a woman or warns a woman to protect men visually according to what she dresses, to protect us from lust or something. That's just not anything the Bible says. The Bible does, however, lay the blame squarely on men's shoulders for our own thought lives. You can do this. The next bit is from Mark chapter 7. Yes, I'm pulling from two different sections in the passage, but if you go and read the entire section, you'll see that I'm not changing Yeshua's point here. I'm just abbreviating it for the video. Yeshua said, there is nothing outside a person that by going into him can defile him, but the things that come out of a person are what defile him. For from within, out of the heart of man, come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. All these things come from within, and they defile a person. In other words, what you hear doesn't defile you. What you see doesn't defile you. It's what you do with those things. That is what defiles a man.
That's an interesting way of putting. That makes sense.
It's your own behavior, your own thoughts that are the problem, not the stimulus. The stimulus is not the core problem here. It's you. Your behavior is the core problem here, not what's going in. Now, does that mean that you can now go and look up whatever you want on the internet scot-free? No. There's the question of stimulus, right and wrong, and there's the question of stupid, regardless of what you think about the morality of the pornography issue. It's stupid. Don't do it. It's toxic. It's bad for you. Don't go there, okay? So does it mean you get to look at whatever you want? Not necessarily, but it does mean that the visual stimulus doesn't control you. You're not a knee-jerk reaction machine. You're a human being made in God's image. You can actually resist temptation. It's part of being human. If you sin, especially as a Christian, it's on you. 1 Corinthians 10:13 says that no temptation has come upon you except what is common for human beings. Yahweh always provides you a way of escape so that you can endure it. You can do this. You can resist temptation. It's just stimulus. What you do with it is on you. Okay, so the stimulus doesn't control you, right? Let's say that your friend comes to you one day and he's clearly having a bad day and he says something truly hurtful to you. You could look at him while he says that to you and then just, smack him right in the face. Or you could look at him while he says that and think to yourself, wow, this guy's having a really tough week. He never says things like this. He must really be going through something bad. I need to ask him about this later on when he's calmer and see how he's doing. So you see that the stimulus doesn't control you. You have to decide in the moment how you're going to respond to things. There was a quote a long time ago that went something like this. If you don't decide what to do with your life will decide what to do with you. If you just don't make any decisions beforehand about how you're going to respond to things, and you just let your reflexes guide you, you're going to become a knee-jerk reaction machine. You're going to become a moral bum, a morally lazy person. Take some stock, take charge of your moral life, and make decisions. Resist temptation. That's your job. The stimulus comes upon you. It is common to man, and there's a way of escape there. You are able to endure it. That's what 1 Corinthians chapter 10 says. So the stimulus doesn't control you. You control you. This episode of Mudwalkers is brought to you by Patreon. If you would like to support what I do financially, check out the Patreon link in the description down below. There's also a nakedmeanshuman.com link down there where you can sign up for my monthly newsletter. Mudwalkers has been deleted from YouTube before by the YouTube gods for no apparent reason, and it's been reinstated, but there's nothing saying that YouTube won't, eventually just do it again. So just in case, sign up for the newsletter so you stay in touch. Over there at Patreon, you get exclusive access to all kinds of cool content like World Naked Bike Ride videos, naturist resort tours, behind the scenes movie content when I'm in nudist movies, because that's been happening recently. And you also get access, depending on your level of support, to our monthly Zoom meeting. That is a phenomenal time to have fun, conversations, and share stories, swap ideas, and just in general, have fun. Let's get back into the video. James chapter 1, verses 13 through 15. Again, these are going to be pretty familiar to most of you, I think. James writes, although in Hebrew his name was Jacob or Yaakov, James is just the English version of the Greek version of the Hebrew name Jacob or Yaakov. Very interesting. So, Jacob writes, "Let no one say when he is tempted, 'I am being tempted by God.' For God cannot be tempted with evil, and he himself tempts no one. But each person is tempted when he is lured and enticed by his own desire. Then desire, when it has conceived, gives birth to sin. And sin, when it is fully grown, brings forth death." Who designed the human body again? That's right, that would be God. And is the sight of the unadorned human body a temptation to sin? Like, of its very essence and nature, is it a temptation to sin, just the unadorned human form? Be careful with your answer here. Because if you say that the unadorned human form really is, just by its very essence and nature, is necessarily a temptation to sin, you're saying the way God designed the body was designing it to be a sexual, sinful temptation. Which would mean that God in his design of the human body is in fact tempting you. Let no man say when he is tempted, 'Oh, I am being tempted by God.' If you think that the unadorned human body is necessarily a sexual, sinful temptation, then take a step back and think about God's character here. Is God tempting you? No, if he's not tempting you, then he wouldn't design the body in a way that is tempting, sinfully. Think about that. Consider that it may not be the body itself that is a temptation, but like we see in Mark 7 and James chapter 1, that the problem is actually inside of you. That your reaction to a good thing is actually the problem here. Let's say that I was over at my friend's house and his dog had just had this beautiful litter of puppies. Just imagine your favorite dog breed, I don't care. This beautiful litter of puppies. And I'm sitting there, and I'm looking at these puppies, and I'm thinking, man, I would really like to bite all their ears off. They just look so delicious. Just to pick them up live and just, I can't take this. What's happening there, by the way, disgusting behavior, disgusting thoughts. If you're feeling that way, please seek help. But I think the response from people would be that something's wrong with me, that the way I'm looking at those puppies, that something's wrong with me. Not that someone needs to throw a sheet over the puppies so that no one sees them. I think everyone would agree The problem is inside of me. What I'm looking at is a beautiful and good creation of God. It's puppies. How could puppies be bad? I mean, they're puppies. It's a good creation of God, a beautiful creation of God. If I'm looking at these puppies and I'm overwhelmed with torturous serial killer thoughts about these puppies, the problem isn't in the puppies, the problem is in me. The puppies are not tempting. The puppies, there's no temptation in the nature of a puppy that makes people tempted to bite their ears off and torture puppies. There's nothing about puppies that just has this innate power, this magic to it, that makes it tempting to harm puppies. There is no magical power of the human body that is a sexual sinful temptation to sin. Okay? It's just a beautiful, good creation of God. And if you are having a sinful response to something good and beautiful that God made, the problem isn't with the design or your God or creation itself. The problem is with you. You're the problem. I'm the problem. The observer who takes in this stimulus, turns that stimulus into a nasty, twisted thing. That is the problem. It's not the stimulus. The stimulus comes in, the stimulus is good. It's the mangling of that into something twisted and evil. That's on you. That's in your mind, not in the thing itself. So regardless of the piece of human anatomy that we're talking about, whatever it is, if you're twisting that up and mangling it into something twisted and tempting in your head, that's on you. Now, after a lifetime of this kind of thought process, it can feel impossible to stop. It can feel natural. It can feel innate. It can feel irresistible, inevitable. It's just part of who I am. It's part of being human. My brothers, sisters probably too, but primarily brothers, my brothers and sisters, there is hope. You have come into a rut of bad habits. And yes, those ruts can be hard to get out of. As you rock up and down the sides of that rut, eventually you will find that you're able to skitter up out of that rut and form new habits. Think about it like dieting. I've met a lot of really overweight, unhealthy people in my life. I live in the deep south, after all. We love our fried foods, right? So I know lots of people who basically live on Little Debbie cakes and fried chicken and Coca-Cola. And these people are really fat and very unhealthy. And whenever I'm in a good place with one of these people as a good friend, they say, have you considered going on a diet? You're always complaining about your bad health. What if you change the way that you eat? And the person says, oh, well, I've tried dieting. I just can't stop. No, it's not that you can't stop. It's that, okay, let's take dieting for example. I think this is a good rule for all changes of habits. This was going to be a longer video than I intended. But let's go with this, because I think it's going to be a helpful point for the viewers who feel helpless. If you're struggling with diet and exercise and getting back to good health, and again, we're talking about general habits, this is just one example. Don't tell yourself, I'm going vegan tomorrow, forever. That's a really big change that's multifaceted and long-term. Don't make those kinds of large, complicated changes all at once. Instead, find one thing that you know you're eating or drinking that is unhealthy, and tell yourself, you know what? I'm getting hungry. Tell yourself, you know what? I'm going to replace this one thing. Let's say it's chocolate bars. I'm eating 5 chocolate bars a day. How about I replace that? And instead of 5 chocolate bars a day, I'm going to have 1 chocolate bar per day. Then after a few months of success, and you're able to really get yourself down as a habit, only 1 per day, a few months later you decide, okay, I'm down to just 1 per day. How about instead of a chocolate bar a day, I have an apple? That's still a decent amount of sugar, but it's not going to be the same level of sugar as candy. So you see, you change one thing at a time, and after a few years, you're healthy, because you keep finding this one thing to change over time. So I want to encourage you, if you're struggling with lust, don't think of this as a one and done. Don't think of this as a simple flip of the switch. You're in a rut, a deep rut of bad habits. If you feel helpless, it's a habit thing. I can almost guarantee you it's a habit thing. And so just press on and find little things you can change, even if it's just thinking about it. They say that 80% of good dieting is just being aware of what you put in your mouth, because most people, most of the time, just eat without thinking about it, without really paying attention. And so if you really start thinking about what you're eating, you might figure out, wait a second, this is the 6th cupcake I've had today. 6 is a lot. That's a lot. And I had 3 Coca-Colas before lunch today. Like that, yeah, maybe that is a lot. Just thinking about it is fruitful for change. So if you're struggling with lust, be aware of it. Watch what happens to you as you go into the experience. It's also very important. I think this is super important. Watch this video up here, properly defining lust. I find that most American men don't even know what lust means in the New Testament. Please look up here. For example, if we look at the book of James here. No, wait, sorry. The book of Mark. For from within, out of the heart of man, come evil thoughts, sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, coveting, wickedness, deceit, sensuality, envy, slander, pride, foolishness. All these evil things come from within and they defile a person. Where in there does lust come in? Okay? Is it evil thoughts? Is it sexual immorality? No. Is it theft? Is it murder? No. Is it adultery? No. Is it wickedness? Not exactly. Is it deceit? Is it sensuality? No. Is it envy, slander, pride, foolishness? No. It's coveting. That's very interesting, isn't it? Watch this video up here. Remember, properly defining lust. What Jesus is getting at, what Yeshua is getting at when he says, do not lust after a woman in your heart because you're committing adultery with her in your heart. He's not inventing a new form of virtue. What he's doing is he's reminding you that this isn't just about the 7th commandment. This is also about, is it the 9th or 10th commandment? I think it's the 10th commandment. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife. What do you think that means? Interesting. With that, I will leave you. I hope you found this video entertaining and thought-provoking. Please go watch that other video and properly understand lust. I hope you have a good week and a good life.